will be wearing a shirt. Yeah. You'll be fired if you don't wear a shirt. So we don't even know what we're gonna do for our intro.
I know. I was like nervous about it because I thought,
Well, we don't even know what it's called, so there's not gonna be any intro.
I said, here's my intro. Intro the new pod.
There is no intro. Let's just rock.
All right,
we don't have an intro yet. We don't have a title of the podcast. We don't know what we're called yet. My name is Mike. His name is Lee.
What's up?
Let's roll. Yeah, so we don't know what this is exactly. This is going to be potentially a weekly or bi-weekly type of podcast. We're going to talk about news articles, news in the business world, and get my thoughts on things. And some of it will be live and unfiltered. Yeah. Other things will be something we think about and talk about and then debate on the topic. But yeah, let's just jump into it. We got a few topics today and do a little bit of jam and then go from there.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see how this develops. Like and subscribe as always. Shout out the media team. Great production. Yeah, we don't know really what this is. Like Mike said, kind of hoping for I would call it a variety show with value. So not just a bunch of fluff, not just talking about like Tom Brady's divorce. Well, maybe. You never know. You never know what topics will come up, but maybe something like that that's not going to bring a lot of value to everyone, not tabloids, but maybe just news articles or current events, things that are impacting us, or maybe you've had interesting conversations with your coworkers, your staff, employees, your spouse, and we just want to bring some more perspective to it and maybe get on a little bit of a deeper level with Mike, at times, and show the humanity of Augusta. The simple explanation is you get a notification once or twice a day on Be Real, and it says it's time to be real.
Okay, is this a specific time of the day that you're
It's random.
It's random.
It's totally random. So not every day. It's not like at noon every day you get a notification.
As if we're not tied to our devices enough. It's like, oh, by the way, right now you have to pick up your device.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you get a notification randomly at some point during the day. I think it's one a day. I don't have the app. My wife does. I have some friends that do. I don't have the app.
Starts, bro.
I don't have the app. But basically you get a random notification. You pick up your phone and you're supposed to take a outward facing picture of like what you're doing.
Picture or video?
Picture. I think it does video as well. Okay. Once again, I don't have the app, but I'm learning. We're learning here, right? You take a picture or a video, and then you also post a selfie with it, and then you post it. And it posts like a screenshot of a FaceTime, right? So you have like your picture that you took, right?
And then
your little selfie's in the corner.
Interesting.
And then you can zoom in on the selfie so you can look at it.
You know what would be cool is if on that app, when you took the picture, this is something I forget who mentioned this, is why can't you take a picture that has the front facing and the rear facing camera, take a picture at the same time? Mm-hmm. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
If you were taking the picture, you snap it and it gets your face and what you're looking at. But this is similar. Yeah. I can see that. Okay.
Yeah. So essentially it's taking a screenshot in time of what is in front of you and then what you're doing or your reaction or your face, right? So I actually, when I was kind of trying to do a little bit of research so I had more context, I found a Twitter page called like Wildest Be Real Posts. And there was one of like a guy like jumping off a stage over people and this girl like freaking out was the selfie. So they're wild. But I was thinking about it more from our perspective as business owners for kind of the audience is, can we start using this for marketing now? So like I said, my wife has it and you can create private groups. So your Be Real is only shared with your friends, like contacts, right? So it's her and like 3 of her best friends from college, right? So it's kind of cool. We get, updates on their kids, their spouses, what they're doing. So there's kind of a cool element. Like you said, we're already too attached to our devices, but you also get kind of an organic, this is like what my friends are doing all the way across the country. Like that's kind of a cool element. And then you can also post publicly. So like TikTok, like Instagram, there's a For You page and you could scroll people's public Be Reals forever, right? It's never going to end. The page will just always go. So as of right now, what I learned from my wife is that there isn't a lot of advertisements except for on that public page. So I'm just wondering, with TikTok now, if you get on TikTok, almost every other post when you scroll is an ad, right? Same thing on YouTube. As soon as you click a video, there's an ad at the beginning. So is there an element to use Be Real for marketing?
I think the challenge with that would be the fact that if you want real candid shots of someone's life and not edited or the best, like the featured film or featured post of the day of someone's life that they've edited or they've picked out the best spot, you either have to have a very exciting life, right, like a celebrity.
Yeah. Or
B, you have to love the person, like have a family connection or friend relationship. It's not like you're going to go follow 5 random people that you just like, they motivate you or educational. Cause like the 99% of our day is not that exciting. And so like to have any random moment, be like, you need to take a picture, take a video right now. It's like most of my day would be like at computer, woohoo. Like there's not a lot of shareability in those dull moments.
Yep.
So I think it'd be great for like kind of like more of a Snapchat, right? Like internal, that'd be cool. It'd be cool like on even my family chat. Sometimes everyone will be like, post a picture of yourself right now. And then we'll post pictures. Yeah. That makes sense.
So the Andes family was like OG B-reelers?
Yeah, dude. I think we should get credit. No. It'd be interesting if it takes off. I think the challenging part is most people, it would get cluttered with so much content. And that's why like TikTok has taken off because there's such a little bit of content, so many eyeballs on it. That's why you can get 1 million views all of a sudden on a post if it's interesting. Well, it's hard to create and manufacture interesting moments when you don't know if you can record and post it. So I don't know, maybe they have where you're allowed to post at certain times, but you're allowed to record previously and then edit it and get it ready for that. But then it becomes, that now just limiting creativity. And that would have a limiting factor on what kind of creators want to post on that. Because you ask some like A-list celebrities, they would run so far from that.
Right.
They don't want that level of transparency.
Because it has to be polished. Like they have a brand, they have a
or even
name.
just security. Like
that's true.
You immediately know where someone's at. Okay, like let's stitch these four B-reels together, and all of a sudden we know where this person's at.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that going on. Like at least when I post my videos, like my vlogs, they're a week behind.
Right.
So I was like, hey, if I'm traveling, no one knows until a week later.
Yeah.
Things like that could get a little bit hairy.
I think I like the
authenticity.
Yeah, the authenticity is cool, as well as I guess every moment is fleeting is what I can think of. There's a word I'm trying to think of, but every moment is fleeting. So it does add an element of almost like scarcity. Like this is this moment right here, right now. Yeah. And I feel like brand celebrities could use that to their advantage. But then again, the notification comes, it could come at 2 a.m. It could come at 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah, like Gary Vee made a really cool point. He said almost every platform when they first start, they limit, and that's how they actually become differentiated, right? So the very beginning, Instagram was just pictures.
Right.
Right. And that was made them different. Well, now they've added reels. Now they've added long form. They actually tried IGTV. Like they keep adding the feature set to get a wider and wider on. Same thing with YouTube, right? Like they started off with long form video. Well, now they do reels and they do music and they do all these other
live
things.
TV,
everything, right? Yeah. So I think, even if you look at, all these other, different social media platforms, they usually go with a niche, like 24-hour things, the whole what's it called? Story. That was like a unique thing. Right. And I think it was from Snapchat. Like disappearing content. Yeah. That disappearing content of scarcity, I got to look at whoever I'm following now because if I don't, I lose it. That was the differentiating factor. So this could be the differentiating factor to get people in the door. And if you can just get the app on people's phone and they do it because of their families on it or their friend group or their high school reunion, whatever, that makes sense. And then down the road, it has to eventually go public to where people are posting on there and they're able to do some sort of editing, I would imagine.
Or like I'm just thinking from like larger brands perspective too, the scarcity or like it's instantaneous. Like if you see this post, you have an hour, like our site-wide 30% off, right? Yeah. Like there's a small sunglass company I follow that's like SoCal based, like just a bunch of bros like doing their thing. And they do that all the time where they'll take pairs of sunglasses and they'll be like, yo, these sunglasses are hidden in this bush at this in and out. Right. And like people rush to them because they're really high quality sunglasses. I'm like, I feel like you could do something like that digitally with that app. So
that's cool. That's cool.
I don't know. So,
I like it.
Yeah. It's called Heatwave Visual. It's like a bunch of bros. They just
Heatwave. I need some sunglasses. Yeah, right now, dude. Maybe Heatwave if you want to sponsor. We'll throw some sunnies. We are looking for sponsors. So if anyone out there is a sponsor, wants to have their name tied to my candies, Lee is unofficially getting 50% of all revenue generated by the podcast.
I'm trying to get in the media game. All right. I'm tired of selling. No, just kidding. Cool. Well, yeah, Be Real. It's an interesting app. I think maybe we'll probably do more research in it. Maybe see if it's an advantage for us to use at Augusta. And then if we want to talk about it again, or if you guys like that topic, maybe throw a comment. If your teenager is using Be Real, let us know.
Yeah. And sometimes social media, these apps come and go so quickly, and sometimes they just take off, right? Like for example, the voice one, what was it called?
Yik Yak?
No, I remember that one.
That was one.
But the what was it called? Radio. What was it called? It has like a black artist on the app. They always change out it was like the thing for like 6 months.
I don't remember.
What's it called?
It was like voice notes?
No. It was like you just drop in and listen for
Oh,
for audio. People would hop on there. What was that called?
I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
Blanking on the name because it was like such a big deal for like 6 to 12 months, and then like no one has it now. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. And
I like your point, just going back to it real quick, is that Instagram has diversified so much that it's not just pictures anymore. And I think from my perspective, you know, as a late 20s male, I pretty much only use Twitter now because it's been the same platform forever.
Right.
Like I go on there and I see the people I want to follow, the news articles I want to see, and it's just text and they're limited to 140 characters. I think I like that as a consumer, that I know when I get on Twitter, it's the same thing every time. And then when these apps change, it's like, it kind of gets annoying almost. Like I don't want that feature.
And you got to support Elon. Now he's going to buy Twitter.
It's back and forth.
No, it's going to happen.
It's official now.
As of yesterday, it happened, dude. Tesla stock dived and Twitter's jumped. It was great.
Nice.
It's going through. I think at $44 a share.
Yeah, last I saw a news article, it was like 54. So
yeah, he got a little bit of a cut deal.
Okay.
But still, he's overpaying for it.
Yeah.
With this market, it's probably, honestly, I would say worth 30, 32.
Yeah. I just hope it doesn't change because I like Twitter. It's simple.
Yeah.
I get quick news bites. I get quick, score updates from sports.
You like that shot of dopamine when 1,000 robots just comment on your post and like it?
Nah, don't the fake followers. No fake likes. Sweet. You recently told me, it was Mike's birthday about a month ago. You recently told me and thanked me. My wife and I got you an Amazon gift card. So if anybody ever wants to get Mike a gift, just get him an Amazon gift card. No one likes to say what they want for their birthday, but he can actually use it and buy something he wants.
The thing is, I can never think about what I want or need. And then like, there's always things that I buy.
Yeah.
I just don't think about them.
Right.
So this is what happened here, I think, because I used it for...
Yes. So Mike knows what this topic is. So he shoots me a message. He says, hey, thanks for the gift card. I want to let you know, I just bought Liver King's supplements. So have the supplements arrived?
They have not. I just got the protein powder.
Okay.
Because that was first and foremost, most palatable. Second all, probably the cheapest compared to all the other stuff. So I'll try it out. I'll see what happens.
Yep.
It makes a lot of sense just from a ancestral kind of point of view. Yeah, the 10 tenets of ancestral living. There's some cool stuff. He had the podcast recently on the Iced Coffee Hour. I listened to that. First 15, 20 minutes, thought he was a bit of a jerk. And then he changed my mind over the first the hour and a half podcast, whatever it is. And it makes just a lot of sense. Yeah. A lot of the stuff that he talks about and how we've just become accustomed to living in our concrete, boxes and never touching the earth, never getting up and down onto or up off of the ground. Things like that. Like they're just really interesting. So you know what? I'm gonna try this powder. It's like has all the random organs of the cow mixed up into its powder. It tastes good though, supposedly. Chocolate.
Is it chocolate? Okay.
Chocolate,
I was going to say, now I know whenever like Liz or I hand you a snack or a drink, you do this, right? Like you look at the back.
That's the first thing I do.
Did it show the back? Like
no,
you
dude.
bought it on Amazon.
I saw the interview. I was working at the time, so I just bought it really quick. I didn't look at it. But I will definitely look at the packaging when it comes in, 100%.
I want to try it.
See what's inside. I'll send you a picture of the ingredients. Like liver, heart, testicles, eyeballs. It'll be great. I think they basically take all the good steak off it and just like, let's shred this thing up, powderize it, throw it in some protein powder, baby.
Because obviously you have like the medical background. What are the benefits for a layman? Like for someone like me, I think, okay, I want to eat a steak. It has X grams of protein, X grams of fat. That's going to give me X calories and I'm going to get energy from it. But like, I see a liver and I'm like, Western society, I'm like, I'm not eating that. Like what?
Honestly, I think 95% of it's marketing. I don't think you need to have livers and all that sort of thing. I really believe that. I know for a fact when I'm buying it that I'm buying it because I heard that podcast.
Right.
And someone convinced me of something. I think that 99% of it comes down to your macros, which is, carbs, fats, proteins, calories. It's really basic.
Yeah.
I don't try not to overthink the health side, but that being said, it's a little bit more interesting to say I'm drinking liver and eyeballs and all the rest of it compared to just like whey protein powder.
Yeah.
And then if you look to like diversification, like in whether it be a business and investing, but also just like in your health, like having different types of nutrition. Like that's why I don't have like a staple thing that I always eat. I try to mix it up. I try to keep it, mixed up, whether I'm eating out or whether I'm just like snacking. I don't have one protein powder. I've always been switching that up. There's people who have had the same protein for their entire life. And it's like, oh, I love it. It's the greatest thing ever. Okay, great. But if you have that for a third of your calories every single day, you're probably missing out on some micronutrients, right? The macros are very important, but there are micronutrients. And that's the part where it gets interesting, like supplements, having some weird food occasionally, things like that.
A funny example of that is I have used Old Spice Original since I was 14 years old. And if they ever just go out of business or stop making Old Spice Original, that's going to be a big decision for me. That's going to be tough.
Well, see, in that podcast, Liver King talks about how he hasn't used soap or washed his hair, he doesn't take showers and things like that. Besides his ice bath or whatever, but he doesn't use soaps and things. That's really interesting. I would never do that. To other people because I don't walk around with a shirt on, but I think it's definitely interesting. I definitely did pick up my soap, what's it called? Body wash in the shower and read through some of that stuff. I'm like, okay, I know what those things do in my organic chemistry class. And here I am slathering this all over my body. I don't know if I would have done that. And we wore gloves and goggles and here I am just let's go. Yeah. So, that's definitely something to think about. And I think the one thing that he said in that podcast was really, really interesting. And I think about it a lot now because it kind of checked the box for me. Yeah. So in Blaine, I have my single mattress just on the floor. Right. Yeah. And at the beginning it was weird. It was hard to get off the bed. Mm-hmm. Not hard, just it felt very weird and foreign because you're always used to getting out of bed and rolling out. Right. Right. Whereas the first thing I'm doing every morning is I'm doing a squat to get out of bed. Yeah. Right. Well, he said it was really important. It's the number one way to determine how old someone is and how long they can live is whether or not they can get on or off the floor. Right. Yeah. If someone falls down in their 80s, that's a really big deal because they might not be able to get up and they could potentially die. Right. And so the fact that every single day, if you think about it for 3 years, that means that you've gone up and down at least a couple thousand times just getting in and out of bed. So you're probably going to be better at getting off the floor if you ever fell down in your old age. Yep. And so definitely felt very good, warm and fuzzy about that one. Get in and out of my bed every time. Yeah. And it's you don't think, now I don't think about it, but now that I have another bed where I do get out at, 3 feet high or whatever, no, 2.5 feet, whatever high, you're okay, that's different. When I wake up and the first thing you're doing is doing a squat technically, right? You feel your blood rate, you get your heart rate up a little faster. So I don't know. Just
you can send it, do a burpee. Just straight up, jump out of bed, quick jumping jack, back down.
Well, so when I first had, this is funny. So I had this single bed, right? And I lay it on the ground, I get in and out. Well, originally I had this box spring, right? And it's super old and it was falling apart. And one day someone on the YouTube said in the comments is dude, you gotta pay for your back and when you're 75 years old, you deserve a better bed. And I was like, you know what? They're right. I'm going to get a better bed. Yeah. And so that day I went on to Amazon. It was too expensive. Went to Mattress Firm, got a really good deal on a nice foam one. Yeah. Nothing super fancy, but it was nice. Yeah. And you know what the biggest thing is you couldn't kind of jump out of bed. Yeah. It was because when the mattress, it compressed so much, you really had to do a squat. Whereas before, you could kind of bounce off. Yeah. Anyways, tangent, regular.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, so I guess we did go down the rabbit hole. But back to Liver King, do you think he's legit? I feel like both of us kind of were talking before that we started recording is our views changed on him a little bit. It seemed when I first saw him in a Snapchat ad. Right. And it was that's the worst introduction I think for almost anything because it's no, I'm trying to open a Snap for my buddy, right? Who lives in Nevada. I want to see what's going on in his life. I don't want to see this. Yeah. And I was very turned off by it. And my gut reaction was this guy is a marketing tool. Yeah. There are companies that have paid for this guy to be a front man, to be the ancestral living model, and they're going to make millions off their product. But then in the Iced Coffee Hour podcast, you're oh, he has a background in sales. He is educated and he has multiple businesses. So what's your take on him now? Obviously you're buying some products.
Here's the difference in what you just talked about there. And this is important for any small business owner, I think, is what happened. The reason your perception changed, and the reason I don't really have a perception change like that, I just have the microcosm of the podcast. I didn't really see him before. I might have seen him when he looked familiar. Yeah. But I didn't know what Liver King was. Okay. Right. But the reason you had that change was because the first time he was interrupting you in what you wanted, and the second time you came for the content. You had intent to listen to the iced
true.
coffee hour,
Yep.
right? And so this is what's really powerful about things like Google is the fact that people are coming looking for your service and product. So when you advertise there, it's typically a more well-received ad because they're looking for lawn care, they're looking for roofing, they're looking for whatever they're trying to buy, versus interrupting them on a Facebook ad or a YouTube ad. It's an interruption, and so typically your cost per click is gonna be way less on the interruption,
Right.
and you're gonna be able to scatter your seed further, but it's just gonna fall on less fertile ground. And in your case, you came to listen to the iced coffee hour. You were ready for it.
Yeah.
And you're like, you gave them 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes to kind of listen because you came for it.
Right.
And so anytime you can have more of that pool marketing instead of push, that can be impactful and change people's opinion like it did for you potentially.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an interesting guy. I just didn't know he had the business background. I didn't know he had the sales background. Like I say, that was just, I guess, more respect that I think on social media and from an interruption perspective, I'm like, all right, like gut reaction, who's this meathead?
Yeah.
Like, why am I seeing this shirtless guy like yelling at me about eating livers?
Yeah. Here's the dichotomy though, because look, you can talk about ancestral living all the time, all you want, and talk about how getting off the floor and that's why he sleeps on a wood plank, whatever. But he flies a private jet and stayed in the Four Seasons 3,300 square foot suite that probably costs about 15 to 20 grand a night.
Probably, yeah.
So if we really want to get ancestral on you, let's not take the private jet. Let's go walking across the country.
Right.
Like, so, people kind of pick and choose what they want. And they're not bashing by any means. He definitely won me over too. Cause what turned me off at the beginning was the kind of like frou-frou of like living wonderfully kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that. It just turns me off when someone's like living this perfect life and like, you're here for a reason and like all this other stuff. It's just like, okay, like just chill out and like you and your happy life. But I think he was a good guy. I like him.
I think so too. I think too, people need to be careful when someone like that comes onto the scene because it's so easy to get caught up in like the excitement of it that like when I was listening to it, like even I do it, right? We're emotional beings. Like I'm like, I should do that. Like I should try that. Right. Like we all do that. Like if we want to be honest with ourselves, like hand up, we get excited, right? We caught up in the thrill, the excitement, loud noises, whatever. And but then I thought back to, not everything works for everybody. Yeah. So like, if the ancestral living works for him and like his, couple 100,000 followers or 1 million, I don't know how many he has. Like that's fantastic. That's great. But like, I don't know, like I'm probably going to like still sleep in a bed. Like I'm still going to wear shoes. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Wear a shirt. You will be wearing a shirt. You'll be fired if you don't wear a shirt.
And if we go like real ancestral living, it's like this is where it's just a joke, but like where do you draw the line?
That's 100%.
Like why don't I just like throw you in the closet and then just show up to command center tomorrow and say like, yeah, I own Augusta now. Mike just gave it to me. Like you can just do that. Ancestrals, you just kill a tribe leader and then like, oh no, actually like I'm in charge of this tribe now.
Yeah.
So where do we draw the line?
Yeah, that's true. But you know what, that podcast specifically with Iced Coffee Hour, what won everyone over to him is the last 10, 15 minutes.
Well, of course.
Giving away the gifts, and he did it in such a genuine way.
Yeah.
Like that won everyone over. I would say. Mm-hmm. The problem is it was so late in the episode. I know we're going off a tangent because 95% of people have not watched the show.
Yeah.
But the last 10 to 15 minutes when he gave away a gift, you can almost never hate someone that's giving a gift away. Mm. So he won everyone over there. He just like slam dunked it. That was the mic drop moment for him.
And it did feel genuine.
Oh, it was. Yeah. But I agree.
Yeah.
He won that one.
Yeah, and their reactions were genuine.
Yep.
Right. So it wasn't staged or anything. So I respected that.
Yeah.
So Liver King, if you don't know who it is, check him out.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, my last topic is podcast names.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Yeah. So we're starting a new podcast, and that's where we need help from folks like you. So leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Possibly make another YouTube channel for this under the Mike Andes brand. But like I said, a variety show with value. So Mike, do you want to maybe spitball a couple?
Well, we've been thinking about like C-suite. C-suite unfiltered. Mm-hmm. It gets a little bit wordy there. What other ones we were thinking about?
I got like a whole list here.
Most of the ones we were kind of spitballing were around C-suite.
C-suite or like CEO. We like that.
Yeah, CEO something. It's like CEO unfiltered.
Yeah.
So you guys got to let us know. Get in the comments because we don't really have a name for this podcast, but we want to make it weekly. Lee wants half of all the YouTube revenue that's going to come in.
True.
That's
like
really,
and subscribe.
That's really why we're here.
Like and subscribe.
So, yeah, I don't know. CEO Unfiltered kind of sounds cool.
CEO Unfiltered's cool.
C-suite something.
I thought of them while driving over here. It's once again, it's a little long. Blue collar CEO.
Oh, dude, I like that.
Yeah.
Blue collar CEO.
Or you could go
I like that.
This is long. This is a mouthful, but CBCO.
That's too much. I don't know.
No. But Chief Blue Collar Officer.
Chief Blue Collar Officer.
Or Chief Blue Collar Officer.
It's very wordy, though.
Yeah.
The officers are on the case. I like Blue Collar. What was it? Blue Collar CEO?
Blue Collar CEO or Blue Collar C-Suite.
I like Blue Collar CEO. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got to leave it open for at least this episode. If you have a better idea, comment in the description or comment in the comments.
Yeah.
Where else would you comment?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Comment in the
comments. Now we just stop.
Now we just stop. Yeah. My outro says like and subscribe.
Any topics you want us to cover. We're going to try to keep it up to date, though. So, like, if stuff is happening in the markets, if stuff is happening, businesses being sold, just like current news that Lee is going to filter and bring up topics.
Yeah, quite literally, if you guys, it would be a huge help as we kind of get this thing off the ground in the comment section. Like, leave a comment of maybe an exciting story or something you want to hear us talk about.
Mr. B said you have to close videos fast once people know you're going to end. So we're done.